Assalamu alaikum students, this is Miss Maruk from SM Public Academy Campus 5. I hope you all are fine and taking good care of yourselves. So let's start today's lecture. So my dear students, we started our new lesson Pirello the Dancing Horse in our last lecture. We will read page number 10 till page number 15 today. Before starting, let's just review the last lecture. So in the last lecture, we studied that Pirello was the dancing horse and he loved his master Carlo and circus life. Pirello and Carlo were separated because the owner of the circus, Mr. Gary, had sold his circus. Why he had sold his circus? Because it was a small circus and he was not getting much money from there. Okay? So Carlo went to another circus and Pirello went to the market and he was sold to farmer. Okay? Let's start the reading now. Then one morning he led him out of the field, fixed him to a plough, and took him to a great stretch of rough brown earth. "Gee up," said the farmer. Pirello pulled, and the plough moved behind him, digging up the brown earth in long, straight furrows. Pirello walked down the field to the end. Then he turned and went up to the field. So what happened? First of all, the farmer kept him in the field, right? And then he asked Pirello to pull the plough for him. What is plough? I told you plough is a farming tool. It has several blades that digs the soil. Okay, so he started moving and pulling the plough. All right. Gee up. Gee up. What does gee up mean? Gee up means to encourage, right? So farmer was encouraging Pirello to try harder. All right. And what is furrow? Furrow is a line for planting seed, right? Before planting the seeds, the lines, straight lines are dug. Okay, and those lines are called furrows. Down the field and up the field. He went down and up, down and up. The earth lay in rich brown furrows behind him, and a crowd of hungry birds followed him. So he was doing a great job. Pirello was moving up and down the field. Okay, and he was digging the soil. Okay. "You're a good horse," said the farmer. "You're a fine horse." Here U apostrophe R-E is the short form of you are. Okay. Pirello went on up and down the field, but his heart was sad. He saw trees stretching up to the blue sky. He saw grass swaying in the breeze. So when farmer saw Pirello doing the great job, he said, "You are a good horse, you are a fine horse." So farmer was very happy with Pirello. Pirello was going up and down the field, but he was so sad. Why was he sad? Because he was missing Carlo, his master, and the circus life, because he was a circus horse. He used to dance in the circus, okay? So in the field, he saw the trees, very high and tall trees. He saw grass swaying in the breeze. Swaying means swinging or moving, okay? Breeze is the air, all right? So all these things were new for him and he was not liking it all. Everything was beautiful, but it wasn't a part of the life he knew. He sighed for bright lights, cheerful music, and the soft sawdust of the circus ring. He sighed for Carlo, his master. So everything was beautiful there. There were beautiful trees and grass, and each and everything was so beautiful. But he was missing his master. So he wasn't liking these things, okay? Sighed, Sighed. Sighed means desired, okay? So he was desiring for the circus life. He was yearning to see his master. All right? Suddenly, in the middle of the field, Pirello began to dance. He danced on four legs. 1, 2, 3, hop. 1, 2, 3, hop. The plow jerked and swayed in the furrows, went crisscross all over the field. He danced on two legs with his front legs in the air. As I told you, Pirello was a dancing horse and he started dancing in the middle of the field. So he was pulling the plow, right? He was digging the soil. And when he started dancing in the middle of the field, it went crisscross. The furrows went crisscross, means it was zigzagged. It was not straight. And the farmer wanted the straight furrows to plant the seeds. Let's underline the new words from these two pages. Page number 10. Gee up. Furrows. Swaying. Side. Crisscross. I hope you have underlined the new words with me. Now turn the page. Page number 12. Cried the farmer. Stop! But Pirello didn't stop. He was a dancing horse. He danced and danced until his act was done. Then he bowed to the trees and the blue sky. He bowed to the grass and birds. Then he stood still. He was a dancing horse. He started dancing and he didn't stop. He didn't stop until his act was done. And what he used to do after his act? He bowed, right? So he bowed to the trees and sky and grass and birds. Why he bowed to trees, sky, birds and grass? Because there was no audience. It was not a circus, right? It was a field. When the spring market came, Pirello was taken to the town to be sold. His life as a farm horse had ended. So, the farmer was very angry with the horse. He took that horse to the spring market to sell him. He stood silently in the market as one man after another came to look at him. He didn't care who bought him. He wanted Carlo and circus life. Again in the market, he was standing very quietly. He was so sad and he didn't care who bought him because he just wanted to be with his master Carlo and he was missing the circus life. He was sold at last to a man from a distant village. Distant means far away. So he was sold to a man in the spring market. "You're a fine, strong horse," said the man. "You'll be useful to me." Here U apostrophe RE is the short form of you are. And here U apostrophe double L is the short form of you will. So he rode Pirello down the roads and lanes until he reached his home. Then he put him in a stable yard at the back of a shop and left him there for some time. So the man liked Pirello. He said that Pirello is a fine, strong horse and he will be useful to him. And the man kept the horse in the stable yard for some time. Then one morning he led him out of the yard and fixed him to a cart loaded with bottles of milk. So who bought Pirello from the spring market? Who was that man? He was a milkman, okay? The milkman bought him and he fixed him to a cart loaded with bottles of milk. "Gee up," said the milkman. Milkman was encouraging the horse to try harder. Pirello pulled and the milk carts moved behind him. Down the street he went, stopping when he was told and waiting while the milkman left milk at the houses. So Pirello was following milkman's instructions. He was moving, he was stopping, and he was even waiting for him. Okay? Down the street went Pirello, then up the next, and down the next. Up and down, up and down, up and down. So Pirello was going everywhere with the milkman. He was delivering milk to different houses. "You're a good horse," said the milkman. "You're a fine horse." Pirello went on up the streets and down the streets, but his heart was sad. He saw red brick houses and little gardens. He saw cars and bicycles and people and children. Everything was interesting, but it wasn't part of the life he knew. While moving with the milkman, he saw many things. He saw different streets, he saw the houses, the gardens, cars, bicycles, different people, children. So there were many things and everything was interesting. But Pirello was not liking it all. Why? Because he was a circus horse and he was missing circus and Pirello. He sighed for bright lights, cheerful music, and the soft sawdust of the circus ring. He sighed for Carlo, his master. Suddenly, in the middle of the street, Pirello began to dance. He danced on four legs. 1, 2, 3, hop! 1, 2, 3, hop! The milk cart swayed, and all the bottles rattled and shook. He danced on two legs, with his front legs in the air. 1, 2, 3, hop! 1, 2, 3, hop! What happened? The milkman was so happy with Pirello. He was praising him, but again in the middle of the street. What did he do? He began to dance because he was a dancing horse, and all the milk carts swayed and bottles rattled and shook. What happened? What happened to the milk cart? It swayed. I told you the meaning of swayed. Swayed means swing. Okay, moved. And all the bottles rattled and shook. Shook is the past form of shake. So, all the milk bottles started shaking. He danced and he didn't stop. Crates slid from the cart and bottles crashed to the ground. Milk ran in a white river down the street. When he began to dance, all the bottles rattled and shook, and then they crashed to the ground. Crashed means hit. Slid is the past form of slide. Crate slid. Okay, slid means slipped. All the crates slipped from the cart and hit the ground. And what happened then? All the milk ran to the street. Means all the milk fall down. Stop! Cried the milkman, jumping to his feet. Stop! But Pirello didn't stop. Since he was a dancing horse, he was used to of dancing. He started dancing and all the milk spilled over the street. Mark till here. See the new words from these pages. Page number 13. Distant. Distant means far away. Stable yard. Page number 14. Bicycles. Interesting. Rattled. Rattled means to make loud sound by shaking something. Shook is the past tense of shake. Slid. Slid is the past tense of slide. Crashed. I hope you have underlined these new words. Now let's see all the new words from the pages that we have read today. Let's read the words one by one. Gee up, furrows, swaying, side, jerked. Jerked means pulled, okay? Crisscross, distant, stable yard, bicycles, interesting, rattled, shook, slid, and the last one is crashed. We have read the lesson. Let's discuss the key points now. What did Pirello do in the field? Do you remember his job that he was doing in the field? He pulled the plow. Very nice. What did Pirello begin to do in the middle of the field? Danced. He danced in the middle of the field. To whom did the Pirello bow in the field? There was no audience, right? There was no audience as it was not a circus. To whom did then the Pirello bow? Trees, sky, grass, and birds. Who bought the Pirello in the spring market? Milkman. Milkman bought Pirello in the spring market. Where did the milkman keep the horse? Stable yard. He kept the horse in the stable yard. What happened to the milk cart when Pirello began to dance? The crates and bottles crashed to the ground. We are done now. Thank you for watching this video, my dear students. In the next lesson, we will read page number 16 till page number 20. Okay? Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.